Hello and welcome back to the barn. I've got a bit of a water leak, hence the gloves. Let me show you what's happened to my van. Some of you have probably got some of these windows fitted to your van. That's these oval windows. Up here you can see these oval windows. They work really well. They open, there's a fly net in there as well. But there's one problem I've just discovered, or we've just realised this last week. Under here there are vents in these windows. If you've ever fitted them, you'll know there are 3 vents, one at each end and one in the middle. Now the problem I've got is that this end drainage channel has become detached on the inside. So when condensation runs down the inside of the glass, or when it's raining and this channel fills up with water, the water is actually working its way inside the van. At first I thought I had a water leak at the top. You can probably see where I've added some more mastic along the top here and down the edges. Last night it absolutely chucked it down and I still had water coming inside the van. So I peeled back my insulation on the inside. I could clearly see where the water's coming in. Let's go inside the van and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Now I'm making this video in the hope that it does actually help someone else out that's got a similar problem. So let's come inside the van, take a look at my peeled back insulation. I was absolutely gutted that I had to do this. So you can see the channel along here, what I was talking about. This is where the water collects, and it's also where the glass slides. So water does get into here, and it's supposed to drain down through these little drainage channels. This one on the end, water was actually coming down here and soaking my bed. My mattress is absolutely soaked. You can see the water stain that's appeared there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and attempt to do, is get some more window sealant and reseal it along here. That's the reason for this masking tape, so I can see where the channel is. I'm going to keep the nozzle really thin and pinpointed, squeeze it up underneath there in the hope it will stop any further water ingress. Wish me luck. Hopefully start that in, I think. Just got to pump it full in there. You can't really see on the camera because it's pretty tight in here. Oh, I didn't want to get it on that. There we go. Well, there you go, that's one problem sorted. Now I've got another little task to do while we're in the van. As you can see, my kitchen area isn't very big. And when we're preparing our breakfast or an evening meal, there's not a lot of work surface, unless, of course, I flip up my little flippy thing. But that still leaves us this great big hole here. Now I have got the offcut that I made a lid for this. The trouble is that lid, the only place I can store it is down there in our step. So to get that lid out, we have to open this drawer down here. As you can see, it's a bit of a task. Take it out. Put it in there, like that. And that increases the work surface immensely, as you can see. But I need somewhere else to store that lid, because keeping it down inside that bottom drawer or step is really quite inconvenient. It's really hard to get hold of. I just want to put it somewhere where I can just grab hold of it in the spare of the moment, if you know what I mean. So I've realised underneath my flippy up liddy thing, it's just a bit of checker plate out of one of my old vans. There's plenty of room underneath here, and I thought, wouldn't it be good if I could actually mount this up underneath there somehow. I mean, look how much room there is. There's loads of room under there. Now I must apologise to anyone whose stickers get covered up by this, especially Shaz and Daz. But don't worry, I'm sure, yeah, there's 2 of you up here. Lovely couple, by the way. Yeah, I reckon about there. Try and get it central if we can. Yeah. Right, so I reckon one right there. I'm going to put a clip there in the middle. to begin with. Right in the middle of van life adventures. Actually, let's see if we can replace these somewhere else. Oh no. My apologies to van life. Oh, it's not good. Do apologise to Van Life Adventures on YouTube. Go check them out. There you go. You get a shout out for sacrificing your sticker. There we go. That's one there, not there. It's going to work perfectly fine. Hopefully, yes, as soon as you lift it, we'll worry about that in a minute. Put that one there. I think that'll stay there. I think that'll stay there whilst we drive around. If we go off-roading, the back country. Not that that's going to happen. That was close. That was almost my knuckles. There we go. Brilliant. Thing is, does this work this well? Yes. Use it. Just take it out. Easy as that. Now let's find out if Rebecca is happy with that. I don't see why she shouldn't be. Hi Bex. Give her a little surprise. Right, ready?
Yeah.
You know you're saying you couldn't find the lid for the sink?
Hold of it?
Yeah, you know, the lid that goes on top of the sink.
No, I couldn't get hold of it. It was in a drawer and I couldn't be bothered to get it out every time.
Right.
I wanted easy access.
You want easy access?
Yeah. I'm chopping. Oh,
Really?
I've just seen it. Oh, yes. So much better. So I can lift it up.
Yeah, but be careful.
Well, it's not too complicated to get out.
Drop it.
Nope, that's fine.
You like that?
Job done. Yeah. Only been waiting a year.
Yeah. I think she's exaggerating a little bit there.
I'm not. It's literally been a year for a chopping board. But didn't he do well? Yeah.
Glad you like it.
Yeah. Nice and simple.
Well, there you go, that's the chopping board sorted out. Becky's happy, so now let's see if the sealant is dry that I just put around that window. It's been about an hour, so hopefully it'll be set and then we can see if it's leaking or not. But before I check it for leaks, there's one other thing I want to check, and that is whether or not those drainage channels are actually blocked. I've just come up with a cunning idea to check to see if those small, tiny drainage channels are actually blocked or not. So let's do that next. Now I know some of you think I'm a little bit crazy, and you're probably right in doing so. Anyway, I'm going to stick this bit of tissue paper over the vent hole. Like that. There's one vent hole there, not vent hole. It's a drainage hole, isn't it? There's one drainage hole there. There is also the one that's was leaking, drainage hole around about there. So why am I sticking pieces of tissue paper to my window? I'll take you outside and I'll show you why. So the plan is, or what I'm thinking is, because there's little drainage holes underneath the window here and here, I'm going to blow compressed air up those drainage holes, and then I'll know if they're blocked if the tissue doesn't flutter. So let's hope that tissue flutters when I force compressed air up through these drainage holes. Quite simple really, isn't it? Right, let's put you down over here and I'll get the compressor out. One little compressor. Right, we've got air pressure. Let's see if it works. I think it's safe to say that they're not blocked. The tissue on the inside is fluttering away quite nicely. So now let's take the van outside, get the hose pipe out and check for any leaks. Right, I've got Becky inside the van. She's going to keep an eye out for any leaks.
So as you can see, this is where the leak is, and Mel's just going to give it a good old test. Right, that's a good amount of water. The other day that would have just been pouring in, but now that he's sealed along here, let me just check.
I think that'll do. Can you see anything leaking?
Nope.
Are there any leaks, my dear?
Dry as a bone.
Really?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it dry?
good. Yeah, it seems like it.
Is that successful then?
I think it's a success, yeah.
Brilliant. So all I've got to do now is glue the carpet back on.
Yeah.
Right, let's do that next. First I'll put this hose pipe away.
Yeah, I don't want to get wet.
Okay, so now we know the gutters aren't blocked. There's no more leaking. All I've got to do now is repair this carpet that I've pulled away. It looks a bit tatty, a little bit naff. I'm just hoping it goes back and looks as neat as it was when I first started. The only way I'm going to be able to do this is to use spray adhesive, so the first thing I've got to do is cover my lovely bedding. I'm just going to use one of Becky's towels, I'm sure she won't mind. I'm going to move these curtains as well. Get those well out of the way. Don't want to damage those.
Expertly done, monsieur.
Thank you. Sorry about your towel, by the way.
That's alright.
Let's get it in there like that.
Needs must. I'd rather have a dry bed and a soggy towel.
I know you're supposed to wait for it to go off and all that, but with auto carpet it don't really matter because it soaks
It's
in.
so thin, yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Beautiful.
Oh, well saved.
I think because you were so careful when you peeled it back originally.
Yeah, I didn't. Just the trouble is when you stretch the auto carpet, it's very difficult to get it to go back. I think I got away with that. That's Monty, by the way, not me. Little monster that he is. Right.